Hey, this is Patty Lukin at All Things Fly Tying, and today we are going to talk about tools that are generally needed for fly tying. The first item that we are going to talk about is the vise. Now that's V-I-S-E, not V-I-C-E. A vise is a tool that is used to hold the hook while you are in the tying process. Used to be, historically, folks used their hands. Well, that works, but it's not nearly as efficient as a vise like we use today. But a vise can be anything that will hold the hook, including like a pair of pliers. You just need to get some friend to hold the pliers for you. So the easiest thing to do is have an actual vise that is made for this process. And what I have here is a nice, very simple vise, and it's on a pedestal. And that pedestal is very heavy. That makes it very mobile, and you can take this vise just about anywhere, including the shore where you are fishing. You can also use a type of vise that hooks to your table. Now this is a little more permanent. It's also a little more sturdy if you're doing especially heavy hooks, but it's also has some limitations that it may not fit on the table, and it's not nearly as mobile, but it is very steady. Now let's talk about some of the components of a vise. A vise, you have your jaws, and those are made of hardened steel, and right there in those jaws is where you're going to put the hook. The other major part of a vise is you have a lever, and that lever you're going to push down once you put the hook in the jaws, and that will cause the jaws to clamp down on the hook and hold it. And I will show you how that is done. First, you take your hook, and you don't want to put the hook way back up in the jaws. You want to put it, and you don't want to put it just on the tip either. You want to put it just in enough, and I'm going to use my hand to kind of steady myself to make sure that that hook stays. And you want the hook to be on a level plane, so it's level here. And you want to be able to do this to the hook, kind of tap it, and that hook will stay and it won't come out of the vise. So your vise, you've got your lever down, and that means that your hook is ready to go. Okay. And we have another little item here that's very nice, and that's a material spring. And what that means is when you're using different tying materials, you can actually put the material in that spring and hold it back, and that way it makes it easier for you to manage your materials. There are two basic kinds of vices. One's a rotary vise, and one is just a regular vise that may be stationary. When I say rotary, what that does, that allows the hook to move on the same plane as you circle the hook around. And the nice thing about that, when you're wrapping materials around the hook, is that it's easier, but it also makes it's easier to make the material stay on the hook in a very nice manner. It will go onto the hook. I think the downside is it takes longer as you need to hang your bobbin, and you need to do some prep just to get it so that you can rotate. The stationary vise that does not allow you to rotate can be kind of a problem, because it's always nice to be able to just look and see what's on the other side, because you're tying and you see what's on the side facing you, but if you can also see what's on the other side, it's very helpful. Okay. That way you can catch mistakes early. Anyway, that's about all I have on vices. Right now, you want one that's simple when you start out, and this is a perfect vise for starting.